So this has been a very, if you're free, to have fraught process for me. To untangle decades of, if you're free, to have just thinking process for me, and feel the scorn that has engendered. I started off this process trying to create a meditation on development. This process, from the time I started meditation, I thought about that idea because it's what I wanted mostly. I wanted to be able to sit and think about things, the things that were being presented to me. About education and
ndipo pauri ndizvo zvazviri, ndiyo nguva yacho, ndizvo zvazviri, ndicho chokwadi, ndizvo zvazviri, kufamba unofamba, kwekuenda hapana, kutaura unotaura, chekutaura hapana, kurota unorota, chekurota hapana, ndizvo zvazviri hapana, ndizvo zvazviri hapana, hapana, ndizvo zvazviri hapana, hapana.
Hello, everybody. Did you know that in 1950s Rhodesia, a man called Alan Savory, who's an ecologist, oversaw the removal of cattle and livestock from an area in North Rhodesia at the time called Wange. And after they removed the cattle and the people, they noticed a drastic decline in the quality of the soil. So the soil started dying, basically. And the entire area started to collapse ecologically. Because obviously when the soil dies, everything dies, right? They tried to come up with all sorts of solutions, but everything they did made the situation worse. As part of the solution, the thought process of their solution finding, they killed 40,000 elephants. They were trying to redress the balance. But the soil just kept rebelling. The earth closed its womb. The sky retracted its favors and held back the rain. This song is a traditional song. It's based on a type of storytelling which we call ngano, which is a story song, episodic storytelling in song. And the woman in the version that we're going to play of this song is looking at Mudzimure mountain. That's the hook of the song. It says, Zimure, Zimure, Mudzimure, Zimure. So this woman is looking at this mountain and she's in deep thought, she's in deep meditation. And she's thinking about her life. She's thinking about the difficulties of her life. And she's thinking about how hard life is in the village. And for me, I kind of love this song because there was a lesson in it about authority. Sometimes the people who have authority over us don't have our best interests at heart. everything she does is criticized by her in-laws. She plays the mbira. They tell her to play on her knees. Her baby starts crying. She puts the baby in a little basket. She props the basket up with bricks. Something goes bang outside. She gets really scared. She wants to scream, but she doesn't know who to call.
Zagatam komangu akareva wando kuridzimbira urite wakapfugama ona mukadzike nomwana kumananga ona wodero wese uchitsvana udumidza nechidhina.
Around the same time that the Rhodesian authorities were busy killing these 40,000 elephants, a young boy in Lesotho called J.J. Machubane is a student at Catholic boarding school. It's a long story, but he can't afford to go home for the holidays, and he almost starves to death under the watch of these Jesuit priests. The degrading and dehumanizing circumstances of his experience force him to look at the poverty around him, and he makes a solemn promise to himself that he's going to find a permanent solution for hunger. He concludes that anger, violence, dissonance in society are all motivated by hunger. He starts to research ways of how he can grow food, harvest food, tries to figure out how the poorest people can grow food and harvest it without any inputs, without water, rain, without inputs, no fertilizer, no tractors. He wants to work out how to do this.
Nzira ndiyo inorema, tiri vanhu venyama, dzimwe nguva tinotadza, saka motisiya here, motisiya here. What a big disgrace, the way you rob the place. Rob everything that you can find. Man, you even rob the blind. You must have warned me to come to your funeral, but I won't go to no one's burial. You must want me to come to your funeral. Make your friend come tell me you are the general. Now we know the truth. We find you wearing the boot of taking others' business on your head. You might as well be dead. You must have want me to come to your funeral, but I won't go to no one's burial. You must have want me to come to your funeral. Make your friend come tell me you are the general. Bury the dead. And who is to be fed, let him be fed. I ain't got no time to waste on you. I'm a living man, I've got work to do right now. This man and that man, yes, they are the same man. You want me to come to your funeral. You say that you are the general. You want me to come to your funeral. You claim that you are the general.
Some of you might know that song, actually. It was written by Peter Tosh. I chose it for the set because it was very significant in the process of me thinking, meditating on these ideas about development, about progress. The story in the song is that a singer is approached by a messenger, and the messenger wants the singer to sing at a dignitary's funeral. And the singer says to the messenger, when you were alive, you didn't look after our best interests. So why would we celebrate you in death? It's uncomfortable because it's a funeral. It's also uncomfortable because death is your rite of passage on your way to becoming what? An ancestor. So it was just something that I turned over in my head, something that I was meditating on.
Tattered flag, tell your story of the vain and bitter glory of a life lived in the sun And oh, you flew those colors for everybody, and black was for the body, black was for the body, and black was for the body. Tattered flag, tell it from the beginning, the losing and the winning of a lifetime in the rain. And oh, you flew those colors for the beating of every heart, and red was for the feeling, red is for the feeling, and red is for the feeling. Tattered flag, tell your story of the vain and bitter glory of a life spent on the line. And oh, you flew those colors to share the love with everyone, and green was for the sharing, green was for the sharing, yeah. Green was for the sharing. Tattered flag, won't you tell us all? Do we rise or fall? Of life suspended on the line, and over our house of stone. You built those colors for everyone. Pride is in the culture, yeah. Pride is in the culture, yeah. Pride is in the culture.
JJ Machobani spends the next 13 years conducting tireless experiments. He experiments with seeds, with crops, with planting, harvesting. He observes the minute detail in the soil and the patterns of the rain. He eventually has a breakthrough with the potato crop. And he goes out in the evenings teaching this new method door to door in Lesotho. The community comes together to plant, and at the end of that season, Lesotho is blessed with a bumper harvest of potatoes. These people plant so many potatoes that everybody's got food on their plates. They don't need tractors, they don't need money, they don't even need rain. They just need each other. The outgoing British authorities get wind of what Machobani is doing, and he's banned. And he's so harassed that he has to go into hiding. He only emerges again in the 1990s.
passion. Love is kind, it is not jealous or pompous. It's not inflated, it's not rude, it's not quick-tempered, does not brood. And love rejoices in the truth. Yes, love rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, it hopes all things, endures all things. Did you know that 10,000 years ago, huge herds of animals, grazing animals, cattle, bison in America, I suppose, buffalo, wildebeest, used to roam the grasslands of the planet? They were so huge in numbers that if you were in a pride of lions and you wanted to eat, you would feed from the edges. Basically, these big herds were protected by numbers. And the weak, the young, the old would be eaten from the edges, but that's nature, right? These herds that grazed on these massive tracts of grassland would trample the earth, and as they ate, they'd flatten the grass, they'd urinate, they'd defecate on their own food supply, which made them do what? Keep moving forward. The soil that they left behind now has all the right microbugs in it, microlife. The bugs and the microlife bring back the butterflies. The butterflies bring back the flowers. The flowers bring back the bees, the plant life, the trees. The water table rises, replenishes the rivers. The rivers bring back the wildlife, and the rain falls. So humans planting in these type of conditions actually yield 400 times the output that you would yield if you put fertilizer into the soil. This is so Zimbabwean of me to be having a show about fertilizer. Do you realize? You don't know what we do with fertilizer, what our politicians do with fertilizer. Election time. Very Zimbo. Very Zimbo. Anyway, remember the degraded soil and the ecologist Alan Savory, the Northern Rhodesian elephant-killing culling crisis? Well, he and his team discovered that within 2 rainy seasons of employing this system of using herds to do what they naturally do, you can bring ecological balance back to an area. Complete balance. That's basically reversing climate change. So this next song is called Nyuchi Mudoroba, which means a bee in the city. And it says, I am like a bee in the city. I drink water from the cleanest water source. I am like a dove. I forage for the finest food. I'm like a pigeon that makes its nest above a home with no arguments. Say, Hangai
Cohen up there, who's our visual editor. On drum kit, ladies and gentlemen, Collen Tom. On keys, bass, voice, Ray Mupfumira. On gadgets and gizmos, sound design, João Orecchia. On electric guitar, ladies and gentlemen, Norman Masamba. And on drums, our guest from Joburg, Tepang Ramboa. And Lindiwe Machikiza, dramaturg. Thank you so much, the Center for the Less Good Idea, William Kentridge, Bronwyn, the whole sound team, Soulfire. Thank you so much. So this meditation on soil took Alan Savory 60 years to think on, to find solutions. It took J.J. Machobani 13 years to remember what we all already knew. I like to think that it took Machobani a shorter period of time because the genetic memory was somehow closer to hand. Sorry, my mind just... Yeah, the genetic memory was closer to hand for J.J. Machobani. That's what I like to think. The knowledge for this continent, for Africa, it's at our fingertips. We just need to remember our own narratives. We need to remember our own stories. We need to remember how to be. Thank you.
Ndipo pauri ndizvo zvazviri, ndiyo nguva yacho ndizvo zvazviri, ndicho chokwadi, ndizvo zvazviri. Kufamba unofamba, kwekuenda hapana. Kutaura unotaura, chekutaura hapana. Kurota unorota, chekurota hapana. Ndizvo zvazviri, hapana. Ndizvo zvazviri, hapana, hapana. Ndizvo zvazviri, hapana, hapana.